Hello, traders. John at StockBookie.com. Today is 2/16/2017, and my name is John, and I'm from StockBookie.com, and we're going to go through the usual suspects first before we start the live stream. Hold on a second here. And remember, you can follow me on StockTwits, follow me on Twitter, and also you can come to my website, StockBookie.com, sign up for a free membership there, and or subscribe to me on YouTube for all my videos and all that good stuff. Eventually, we're going to have everything on my website, and just taking a little bit of time, guys. Been really, really busy. I'm going to be doing more of these live streams in the weeks to come, so hopefully that will happen a little bit sooner than later. So let's get right to the SPY, the usual stuff we go through. Again, we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days up. We're above this trend line. We've been talking about that one for weeks. It comes back from this point here, from all the way from 2016, connects that high. And basically, like I've been saying, we're in this channel and we're at the top of the channel. So we are going to keep an eye on that one today and see if this thing comes back in. Right now on the daily, we have confirmed, but we are going to keep a watch on the weekly chart. That's the one we're following at this point, because a couple moves up like this. Volume did pick up in the last 2 days, but still in around, what, 70 million, 72 million. After hours, we're at 84 million, so it's a little bit more after hours. So again, let's go to the weekly really quick. Weekly, I want to see a close above this trend line. Then I want to see more follow through. We did talk about the 235 area if you were bullish. We did come off this little bullish flag here. On the weekly, we got above the areas of resistance, and here we go. But again, no volume. I want to see some volume like this. See how this thing pushed up here? How the volume came in on the weekly chart? We're in about 700 million, and on these candles here on the weekly, we're doing about 300 million. So you got to watch out for that too. Not a lot of conviction with this push up, but you got to respect it, because I still believe the Fed is in full charge here, guys. Let's go to the SPY on the monthly, and I'll show you this every time I do these charts. This is the rally we've been getting. This is your .com. This is your housing. And if you really believe that the economy is that good and everything, that we are, at least 100% past this area at this point and just making a run for the money. So we are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 months up. So we're a year pretty much straight up with a little pullback going into get this, guys. The low here was on March 6th. We will be going into the 8-year bull run on March 6th coming up in the next couple of weeks. So you got to keep an eye on that as well. And it's going to be a 10-year run from the all-time high here back in 2017. So as in cycles, if you do follow cycles, that's what I'm watching for too. So, all right, so let's get into the IWM. IWM, it did pull back a little bit, but you know what? Let's go to the daily really quick here. Daily chart, we did push up here. We talked about this channel. Remember, we were going up and down in this channel. We did pop above. We did close. Now we confirmed. And then we were talking about the 140 area up in here. Or, actually the trend line was right around 139.74. We are into 139. Where was the all-time high was today? 139.84 was hit today. Did pull back, but boom, light volume took over and straight back up. So you got to beware of that. That's what these markets have been doing. So if you're trying to short these markets, just take position size. Do not do puts right now. Puts are getting slaughtered. You can write probably calls, on certain stocks, but individual stocks are pretty good. Buying puts on the indexes has been a tough task, guys. I mean, even if we go back all the way to March from last year, I mean, this is the IWM. But we sat here, finally pulled back. Boom, straight back up. IWM as well. We could stick a, you could put, if you wanted to, you could come through here. There is a trend line resistance down in this area too, so you got to watch out for that. But right now, nothing wrong. We talked about the bullish pattern here. Regardless, we talked about, if you're short, you needed to come back down here and go, test this low, the low pivots here, 618, and then continue down. If you're bullish, you need to get above these down sloping trend lines, which it did, and pop goes the weasel above. But, still, I'd like to see some volume like this. Let's see some good volume, like after the presidential race and all that. Look at that. They pushed it up, look at big volume, then dump, disappeared, and look, they just got it floating again. Goes to a complacent market, and this thing can rip higher. So at this point, glad you're back. Hey, Raj, what's going on, bud? Market can take a breather. Yeah, right. It's been a pretty incredible run, but you know, what are you going to do? Yeah, I'm going to be doing more of these live sessions. I just been super busy. Even I'm still extremely busy. I love doing this stuff, so I'm going to try to do more of this in the near future. So, but again, the IWM, we're right back into that trend line on here. If you go back to these highs, this one goes back to 2014, 2015, and then goes right into where we were. And you know, you see what happens here when it hit that, came back in, bam again, made the trend line. Even on the first hit back here, we had a slight pullback. I mean, it just, the markets just won't go down. I mean, so, you know, if you're going to buy puts in this, you get a couple days down, you got to take what they give you at this point. And then stocks are overshooting, you know, so if this thing goes up, does it overshoot? Maybe go to 42, 43, and maybe even 145, for all I know, 150 at this point. So I wouldn't rule it out. But we got to get past 140 and get above this trend line, and then we'll take it from there. Weekly chart on the IWM. Weekly chart, you know, we're right back into this. And actually, you know, this was slightly, you know, this was more on the bullish side, but it was slightly bearish in here. You know, you had this little inside bar, and then it started going sideways, chopping around. But again, once we got past this downsloping trend line, boom, straight up, and then right back to the double top. And then we got through here. Again, on the weekly close, I want to see this thing get above this line and maybe 140 and then close. If not, then look for the reversal and possibly a little more downside. We are going into that 8-year anniversary on the SPY of the 2009 low, so you got to keep that intact as well. And you know, this, I don't know what's going on here though. Now it's just a trade here. If we're down 27 cents, but that's not really a big deal. All right, so let's go into the Qs. Q's been strong. Everything's been strong. This one actually got above this line on the weekly. So let's see if we close above here. If we close above there, again, I still want to see more volume, and I still want to see it get above 130 and then continue. But if you're bullish, you know, just hold on, tighten the stops, and you know, just don't give back any money. You got a great run here. Even if you went back, you know, a year, well, I mean, it's been chopping around. Even if you bought, you know, in the early 2016, you know, what a great run. Again, this is one where it's kind of going up and channeling. It didn't come back down to the channel, but, you know, came down to the 20 MA support, this pivot, and then pretty much took off from there. And then the rest is history on the weekly. So at this point, let's see if we close above there. Then, and I want to see more follow through, guys, before we go up. But we've been up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. That's a little bit big for me if you're going to get this up moving here. So just beware that this thing could be losing steam and it's just floating on hopes and dreams. And then, you know, they're pushing the Trump trade and all that stuff. So you got to be aware of that as well. All right, let's go to the daily just one more time here. Yeah, we're above that line. We're making a run. And, you know, this one's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days up. A little doji candle here. I'm not too worried about that. But we're coming to a Friday. We haven't had a good sell-off on a Friday in a while. Could it be a Friday sell-off? Possibly. Just keep an eye on volume. You start getting 30, 40 million in the first half hour on the SPY, then you know something's coming up, and it's probably going to be selling. The heavy volume comes in. That's when the selling usually occurs. And with the light volume, this is what you usually get. I mean, we're just floating. So eventually we will pull back. So let's see here, DIA. DIA, same crap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days straight up off of a bullish pattern, though. We talked about this. As long as it stayed above the 20 and the 50, this thing would start to go. It's getting a little bit extended up here on the daily away from the 20 MA, so you'd expect a little bit of a pullback. So just beware of that. Excuse me, guys. And just kind of like here, I mean, this was up and sideways, not the best bullish pattern. This was more of a bearish pattern, but with the 50-50 with the Trump card, remember, guys, if Trump gets in, it's going to be a disaster. So, you know, a lot of people went short there, and they're just getting squeezed. For me, hey, what's up, bud? How's it going? For me, you know, with this, I have to say, you know, after this type of a move, you have a bullish pattern, it starts to run up, but man, you know, you get moves like this. This is just insane. You did have some pretty good volume coming in here, but now we're getting light again. This is the DIA. It's only 30 stocks. It's probably, you know, I don't really follow this, but people ask me to. So again, though, you stayed above the MAs, getting a little bit stretched, but gosh, you know, this here, you know how many people went short right there? And, you know, I think it was 800 down on the Dow when it was tanking right here, and then it wakes up and straight up. It's unbelievable. So for me, it's still, you know, for me, it's position size. you don't want to load the boat on any of this. So if you're taking, say $10,000 positions and you're spreading them around, just go small. Start with 5,000, then add 1,000, add another 1,000, add another 1,000, and then maybe the last position add 2,000. Get yourself to 10. You get your 5-6% on the trade. You get the hell out. You make your $600-700, and that's it. Buying puts right now, I've been preaching that for a while. You're getting killed. I just, man, puts are tough. Write some calls or do a spread. And even spreads are getting tough too. Because this thing was going up, and even here when it came up in reverse and then popped right back up, if you bought a spread up here, you're probably getting murdered right now. So just beware. And if you're long, just tighten up these stops and enjoy the ride. Let it keep going. I still think we're in fantasy land, guys, but that's me. I can't buy markets up at these highs. I wish I was buying coming down as some support and catching it. And we'll catch it again. You know what? When this market pulls back and we get a 10%, 15% pullback, we'll be buyers then. And then, that will be the one time where it doesn't buy the dip, and that's when it keeps going. So everyone's been conditioned, guys, for a long, long time. Here's the weekly on the Dow, the DIA. I mean, look at this. It just keeps going and going. It just doesn't give up until it does. And then it's kind of like here in 2000, look what they did. They brought it up, they pulled it back, a nice run in the double top, and then it kind of came back, another run, came back, another retrace, came back, retrace, and then that was it. It was just lights out. They couldn't hold on. So, that's what I'm kind of expecting, a nice push up, then maybe a pullback, another push up, and then hopefully, just another lights out scenario, so we can buy the dip and possibly ride this one up. So just watch out for that as well. Let's go to the IYT. Let's see here. See, now we're trying to get above that. Remember this. Let's go to the daily. You can see the action a little bit better on the daily. So we got back above, we made a run for the double top, pulls back in to make another run, but at the same time, you got these lower highs too, so you have to respect that. The market's a little bit strong right now, so as long as it doesn't take out this low pivot, it's okay, in a short-term basis. So it gets up, comes here, breaks here, everyone's like, even Kramer, when the Dow Jones transports run, you got to get in the rally. I was watching something on Kramer the other day, and he was talking about the rally's on, you got to buy in, you got to do this. And it's like, wow, I mean, they haven't even really broke out in my book. You still got to go on a weekly basis, for me at least. This one we did not confirm. It came right back in, closed below the top. So, I'd expect maybe possibly some lower prices on this, or do we go sideways and possibly set up for the higher move? So we'll see what happens in the near. Right now there's really no pattern other than a nice up move in the double top. So you got to respect that. It did stop, did overshoot like everything else is, pulled back today a little bit. Now let's see if we chop around, but everything still caught a bid. It's just not giving up, guys. So just if you're putting on shorts like I am, adding slowly each and every day, that's what you got to do here. Don't go over the boat in one position. Keep them all spread around, and we're going to be taking off one after another, one at a time. Nothing crazy. Again, weekly chart, got above it. Let's see where tomorrow's close. If tomorrow closes on the weekly below these highs, then we're still on for possible more downside. If it gets above there and then confirms and then gets up, again, I want to see more volume. This is just jicky jack volume. That's really, there's no conviction. It just disappears and it floats. No conviction, no big push up. That's what I want to see. Yeah, when I was looking at that today, you got it. Looks like diamond and pennant. Yeah, exactly. I was looking at that one, bud. Let me get through the USO, the UUP, and the GLD, and then we'll start going through stocks. Yeah, if you guys have anything, post something up with the chart name or with the $ and the symbol. And then is Apple good to short? You know what? I with Buffett in there and stuff, we'll look at that one too. Yeah, I would say start adding it if I were you. I mean, there's a lot of stocks. I'm in a lot of these short. I'm getting my butt kicked in some of them, but all my positions are good size, so I'm not too worried. Even if Apple goes 30% against me, I have such a small position. It'll barely knock me out of my portfolio. So I could really care less. And I do have money on the side. So if I have to add more, I'll add more. That's what I do. Right now are the markets where you take 30 positions on. You do small, if you have a couple $100,000 account, you do $10,000 positions. You do 30 of them. And as they're coming in, you take one off, you add to another one. You take one off, you add to another one, and stuff like that. It's all about money management right now, guys. Strict money management is critical in these markets. Or just sitting around doing Doing nothing, to be honest with you. You got oil. Look at this. We're gonna do the OPEC thing and blah blah blah. You get a spike, you get a dump, you get a spike. I mean, look at this. It's just been going sideways in this channel. Another one that's just channeling to the top, to the bottom, to the top, to the bottom. So we'll see where USO goes. It is trying to get back above the moving averages again. Yeah, I mean, then Buffett buys. Again with Buffett, the guy's worth like $80 billion. So even if he buys 42 million shares of whatever he did, or $42 million or whatever he did, it doesn't matter to him. Like when he was buying Goldman Sachs at the highs, I think it was 220. And then the financial crisis came and Goldman Sachs went down to 40. You know what he did? He bought a crap load more. Now it's back at 250 and he made money. That's how you have to play these markets. Always have capital on the side just in case if a position goes against you. Just like if USO goes against me, it starts going to 12 and 1250. I'm going to have to think about adding more. I personally cannot go long in these markets. That's just me. So, I'm not going to chase these markets up. Sorry. But let me tell you, it's making me believe. It's almost making me believe that the bull run's still intact. 8-year bull run, and they're saying this thing has another 10 years to go. It's like, it's killing me here. But the USO, again, we're above that trend line. We're still above the moving averages. If you watch my videos, this is still fine. I'm still thinking down a little bit sideways, setting up in a micro bear. You're still macro bullish. But I like this down sideways action. We've been going almost 6 weeks now. That's telling me we're setting up for possible lower prices. So we'll see how that, if that comes out on this play here. So, all right, let's go to the UUP. Where was the UUP today? God, down again. Jeez. They're trying to get this dollar down and this oil up. And my gosh, let's go to the daily. So the daily, look at that. So we held this area here at the 2580, came right back above it. We never confirmed below. So it came right back up to the 50 MA, the 50% retrace fib, right back down. We are still above the 20 MA moving average. Let's see if we hold that, as well as the 250 retrace. If you're coming back down, then it's the 750 retrace here. So let's see if we hold this area, maybe slingshot up. But we did have this pullback here, a nice retrace, and now does it go down again and pull? Now are we in a downtrend where it's doing this, where when the dollar was in an uptrend, it would go up, pull back, go up, pull back, go up, and then all of a sudden, and now it's going down, pulling back. This is slight bearish here. I'd like to see a lower wedge pattern, but it is slightly bearish with a nice retrace. So this could go back down, maybe test double bottom, fill the gap. Maybe it does get back here, or maybe if it gets back to the $25 area, pierces through here, I might be another buyer here. So, or start adding to the dollar, possibly. We'll have to see how this goes. So that's the UUP. And then the GLD, if you took that trade with us, this one's still pretty good. If you're in, like I was saying, you're in around here, 107, 108, where we added our last position down here. But if you added one position down here, I think you're 10 bucks up on the trade. Think about taking some off the table. Not that gold's going to pull back at all. Just tighten the stops up, take some profits, and hopefully we can get up into this 125 area. I think we still can maybe get a $6, $7 run. The markets start to come in, then you're probably going to get that. So let's see, if you think he has 80 billion and he buys something 1 billion, that's 1.5 for, yeah, exactly. I wish he can take, say, 60 positions at $1 billion a piece, and Buffett's going to kill it. So if you have an account with $100,000, take $5,000 positions, or take $10,000 positions, but always have some money on the side for just in case. Every trade I can't, I try to give out the best trades. Intraday scalping's a little bit easier, but if stuff's going against you, make sure you're not loaded the house so you can withstand some pain. And even, as I'm in pain with NVIDIA, and that's slowly coming in, I'm in pain with Goldman Sachs, Apple, JPM, a couple other ones too, but my total portfolio is not going to wipe me out. But in the meantime, if I'm covering trades, scalping during the day, I'm making money up on those. So if I cover a couple other swing trades, I'm going to look at NVIDIA and go, you know what, I'm going to add more up here and get my cost average up a little bit. I'm a little bit over my max position. Say if you have a couple $100,000 account and you want your max position to be $20,000. So maybe you're in with $10,000 on NVIDIA, maybe 15, knowing that you have another 5 if you want to go into NVIDIA. It's all about money management, guys. And 8 years it took me to really do strict money management, because 8 years ago I was a madman. Just go all in, no man, go all in, and then you're getting killed and you have nothing. then, of course, you get margin calls, all that crap. So that's no fun. Then you got to sell. So just be careful with that stuff. But the GLD trade, fine. We're above the 20 MA, chopping around. We did have a little up move today. You know, pull back. Does it start going up again? We have good resistance here. I'd like to see more sideways action. 20 MA curl up and then push it through this area and push it to the 125 if we got there. Don't know if it's going to make it, but we can damn well hope. Hope and change, right? But we have the 20 or the 200 and the 50 on the weekly too. I would love to get to 125. It's a big task here, guys, with the 200 and the 50. All we need is more consolidation, and then I think we can get this move. But we'll see what happens when the time comes. You know, at this point, markets are a little bit irrational, so you got to respect them. Sit back, preserve capital, and get ready to jump when the time is right. So, all right, guys, let's go into win. Yeah, win. You know, I've been working my butt off lately with my printing company. So I've been on the charts, but I'm dying to do these live ones, man. I love doing this stuff. But again, this was I just posted something earlier today on Stock Twits. This was the big line in the sand. We got above it, but never confirmed. It came right back in. MGM, I guess, had bad earnings, so this one pulled back. I think Win had okay earnings. I'm not sure. I think they were probably here. This is when they popped up and they came right back in. We were hoping for 105 and maybe this 109 area, because a lot of times these things are overshooting. I wish we would have started nibbling right here, and that would have been a great call. Even with a $10,000 or $20,000 position, that would have been a great call. Came in, but look at that, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now we're right back down, but now we're below the 20 MA. This is slightly bearish pattern. Basically, if you're a bear on this, you need to get below the 20 and the 200 and the 50 MA. And then let's see here. Yeah, and then you got these pivots here. So let's stick these. Let's put this pivot in here a little bit better. Just go through that one there. Yeah, so you have this here. So, if anything, if this gets below these areas, yeah, I can't hold that. You got the 382. I mean, the 618 is right here. You have a small gap fill, and then you have the trend line here right about $90. You could probably, gosh, I wish I would have shorted this. I was thinking about it because you were into this double top. You had this pivot here, but man, it was like, all right, earnings, maybe it does push up a little more, and never did. So if you are short here off of earnings, then just keep riding it. If you get past these MAs, you're probably going to $90. If the market starts to sell, you're probably going to go lower. So just keep riding this thing. But if you're in from 104 or so, maybe take some off the table right here and just ride it back, ride it down. If it pops back up, you can always add more and do it again. But right now, just ride it short. If you're long in this one, you need to get it back above the 20 MA. You need to get it back above this big trend line here, and then maybe higher prices. So, one step at a time. The markets do sell off, everything's going lower. So just be aware of that. Apple now. Is Apple a good short here? I haven't really worked on this one. I'm going to try to find some levels up here. It's all going to be mathematical stuff at this point because there's just nothing up here. There's no resistance. Hold on. Duh. Oh, wait a minute here. All right, hold on here. Gosh, I didn't think it was. All right, that's right. It was around 134. I was gonna say, so you're right there. So if you want to short this thing, short it. And expect it going to 140, 145 or so. So don't load the boat. But if you can't stay above this line and keep going, did confirm on the daily by closing, but we have a little doji. But at this point, you could probably short this thing. If you're not short yet, I'm short. I'm underwater on this trade. But if you're not short it here. I might add more. I have a little bit of more. I have a little bit of room to go on this one. So like I said, I'm going scalping. I'll go balls out, guys. I'll go, 100,000 in a trade, 200,000, 300,000. Use margin the whole 9 yards. Swing trades, on the other hand, I will not use margin. Period. I shouldn't say that. Once in a while, I do. If I see something where it's like, oh my gosh, this thing could gap and crap, I'm going to load the house in my swing account. So that's something you can look at. But yeah, you start getting moves like this and you get to the double top and it's starting to have problems, something's up here. But everything's overshooting, so you got to be really careful. It could still go to 140. So if you have to short this, use shares only. It could sit up here for 3-4 weeks like everything else has been doing. You buy a put here and you're going to be done. If you want to write calls, today or yesterday would have been the time to write some calls and possibly play the premium play on that one. So you can do that one. Let's see here. So yeah, that I don't see a problem. Let's go to the weekly really quick. I want to see, what is it, 3-bar surge maybe? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you can. Let's see on the weekly if we can close above this. All right, if you want to play it like this, you can play it like this. You go short here. Next week, if it closes above this candle, one or the all-time high on a Friday close, you get the hell out. Gets back to 140, 142, or 145 area, reshort it up there. But this is not a bad area to short. You'll get a better price than me, put it that way. But again, small positions. This isn't double top. That big resist. A lot of bag holders from from back here in 2015 who bought up here, and they're break even now. But they want to hype them. Don't sell. Apple's going higher. The next thing you know, it's back down to $100. So be careful with that one. Let's go to natural gas. Was it UNG? I believe it is. Yeah, you know what? I was looking at this one a couple days ago. It started coming in. Let's look at the daily really quick. Yeah, see, daily, it's just starting to break down. I mean, it had a nice run. You're getting below this trend line. If it closes down in this area tomorrow, watch out. You're probably going to go down to this pivot, and you have a couple gaps to fill, and ultimately you got around 641. So this thing can keep going here. If it does turn around and get above this trend line, then you might have a retrace back up into this moving average area, maybe 837. But be careful. You're starting to break down on this chart here. If you break through this area and get, confirm below this trend line here, if it does, then you're going to probably just stair step all the way down. You could possibly test double bottom again. But man, you get a run like this. Look at that double top, pulls back, retraces, comes down right to this area here. There's a gap fill here too. Let's see if it fills this gap and then reverses and goes up, even the $7 even number. So yeah, it's kind of getting beat up right now. It's tough to say. On the daily, at least, it looks like it wants to go lower. On the weekly, not that bad, but you look at this pattern. It tried to break out, came right in, tried to break out, pulled back, broke out, little topping tail here, and then boom, right back down. Now you're below that big trend line. I wouldn't rule out, coming to this gap fill around $7 or so, and then maybe just coming into these lower levels here where these lower pivots are. So if you're long this, be careful. If you're short, I think you could ride it a little bit more. But and if you're short, you get back above these moving averages and stay above this line. So you got to think about covering. But if you're short, ride it. If you're long, you need to get it back above the MAs and then possibly come up here and fill this gap again and possibly higher. But right now, it looks like to me it's starting to break down, but it's still not there yet. I still need to see something tomorrow on the weekly close, and let's see where we close on the daily as well. So, all right, Tesla looks like it's doing a bullish retest, 4.7 pivot high and a 10-day simple moving average. I don't follow the 10-day, but let's look at it. Yeah, wow, look at that weekly topping tail, guys. Holy crap. Let's see where we close tomorrow. Wow, I didn't even see that. I looked at and you got a topping tail here on the daily too. Look at that topping tail, a little bit of retrace, and boom, right back down. We did fill the gap here today around 269.13. That's pretty much where it stopped. If you're looking at let's see, if you're looking at the intraday chart, yeah, you had gap fill. It closed a little bit below gap fill. You have a couple more. You have this big gap over here as well, right around 262.13. And again, every time this thing runs, all the bulls are like, look at this thing go. Look at this high to here, pulled back. Same thing. Boom. We even got a topping tail here. Gosh, it almost looks like the same crap. Goes all the way up into the trend line, 2 big selling days, chops around for 2-3 weeks, and then dump. So let's see if we go one more selling day into the 20 in the gap fill, sideways action for maybe into earnings, and then earnings suck ass, and then it falls right back down to 180. I still say Tesla's going to the 140, 150 area. I know you Tesla bulls hate me for saying that, but I've seen this crap too many times. Let's go to the weekly on this thing. And I tell everybody, all these longs that you could look at this, goes straight up, comes in, straight up, comes in, straight up, comes in, straight up, comes in, straight up. Anybody see a pattern with this? Maybe this is the time it goes up because that's what everyone's thinking. But wow, on this, wow, we've got volumes. We give out one more day on this, so we're gonna have pretty good volume and a nasty topping tail here, guys. You know what? If this thing holds next week, or if this thing holds tomorrow, this thing on earnings, I believe next Thursday maybe, or is it next? I think it's the 22nd. This thing retraces back up into this area, you got to short it. Period. This is it's going lower, and if it doesn't go lower, it will go lower when the markets sell. It's pretty simple. It's down at almost $2 after hours. I don't know if they have news or anything, but geez, oh my gosh, I love that topping tail. But again, it's a weekly close, so let's see what happens with that. Yeah, man, the DGAZ. I'm hoping it's going down. Is that the short? Is that the natural gas? DGAZ. I don't know if this is an inverse or not. Yeah, this looks like it. So if natural gas goes down, this goes up. Yeah, I mean, if you're in this on a long, yeah, I would hold on because the UNG looks like it's about to break down. If that does, that's probably going to bring you right to double top again. You know, right to wherever these moving averages are. And then this chart now as a bull, you know, you got back above the 20 now. Now you got to stay the 20 and keep rolling. You know, you got a gap here and stuff like that. I don't follow this one. I follow the UNG. But see how you got a lot of selling, people getting out of this, you know, people adding or getting out because they were trying to go long at this one point. They shook them all out one more time. So that could be the last shakeout before the next wave up. So keep an eye on that as well. All right, guys, you know, I'm going to start, let's see here. Want to look at GS, Goldman Sachs. That's another one. I believe we're right back. Yeah, we're right back to double top on that one. Coming back. Where are we? Right back to, was it, wow, 2000, was that 2007? Oh my gosh, guys, look at that. You know, this is just, we're almost in the 8-year bull run in March. Everything's coming up to 2007 highs. Wow, this is crazy. So yeah, if you're not short Goldman, short this thing right here. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. You know, I'm underwater in my positions, but like, you know, I got small positions. I'm not heavily loaded up. But if you're not short GS, you have to short this thing. You have to. Don't take a crazy position. Puts, damn. Man, I guess if you went out maybe 2 months or so, but you're still, this thing could sit here for 2 months. You know, that's what I mean. It's been sitting here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks, which is 2.5 months. So if you're buying puts anywhere up in here, you just get murdered right now. Or if you do it, you got to take tiny positions and get your butt kicked. You know, if you're taking huge positions, you are going to get your butt kicked. You're not going to be trading for that long. Well, yeah, that's interesting. Look at that. And then you got netties. I had a lot of question about netties today. I posted, I said, you know, I love the short. I love trying to play the fade, but I said, you know what? The way these things been shooting up, you know, $300. And look at that. We're what? 38 cents away or 32 cents away from 300. Let it go up. Let it go up another. Let it go to 310, 320. Then short this thing. I'd do a nice spread on this thing or write calls, something on netties. I mean, it did come off of a slightly bullish pattern above the MA, so you have to respect that. But my gosh, guys, you look at the weekly or the monthly, better yet. Is this a high flyer or what? And then now it's getting extended. Now it's to the point where, you know, it goes up a little bit more. You can short this one too as well. Anything else, guys? Let me know. Post it up there. Any other charts you want me to look at and go over? Maybe you're in a trade and you're stuck and you want me to take a look at some support or resistance on some stuff, and then take it from there. NVIDIA. That one slowly, you know, this thing, it's been brutal, you know. But now we have a week or the monthly chart. We're even looking at getting a little tail there. Again, still stretched from this 20 MA. This thing will come in. It just takes a lot of time on the monthly chart. That's why, you know, if you would have bought puts up here, you're getting squashed. You had to, you know, just wait out. Look at that nice retrace back up and then right back down on the monthly. On the daily chart now, let's take a look at this. Yeah, we're holding the 50 MA. So now, you know, let's look for some more sideways action, a little retrace, and I'm thinking another leg down. Remember, this is the stock of the year, guys. So, you know, you're going to have to, you know, just respect it. And if people want to buy it, and, you know, maybe Buffett will buy it next week, you know, and maybe it will go higher. Who knows? But again, just like the IYT goes back, makes a high, comes back, retraces up to the high, can't get through it, boom, on earnings. I guess they had pretty good earnings, but you know, when you get a stock that runs up $100, let's go to the monthly. When you get a stock that ran from, you know, the beginning of 2016, it was a $25 stock and it goes to 120 in a year, you'd expect some sort of pullback, guys. Stocks just don't go up and up and up. This is a very, very unhealthy move here. This is a move where it will come straight back down. Does it come down to 85? Maybe it comes down to 40 again. Who knows? But you know, they're curing cancer now, guys. So it's got to be at least a $400 stock. Remember Chipotle or GoPro or El Polo Loco or any of the IPOs? Oh, this thing's, oh my gosh, it's going to 5,000. And the next thing you know, it's a $10 stock and everyone's going, I don't get this. Yeah, you know what happened? You got sucked in and you got screwed. So just beware on stocks like this. It will, and if the markets pull back, this one's going to fall like a brick. Mark my words. You'll be at 100, then it will probably hold that, and next thing you know, you're at 90. And then next thing you know, hopefully I'll be making some money on this thing. 5 years later, I'll actually make a profit. Gold, I went over gold in the video, so I'll do it real quick, but it's in the beginning of the video. Yeah, gold's fine, as long as on the daily you stay above these moving averages. It had a pretty good move today. We're thinking first level, maybe around 120, 121. We've been riding gold. I was telling everyone to start adding around 115, 112.50, and then the 108 area. So if you're lucky enough to get in around 107, 107.50, I'd take half off here. I'm still thinking we'd get up into the 125, 126 area. Then I will be out of gold. Maybe sell half. We'll see. I don't mind it from having it down in here around 111 or so. I think my average position was or is. I don't have my screen up right now, but 111 or 112 something, right in there. I start adding at 115, 112, and then 108. So 112, I think 112.50 or something like that, whatever it is. But yeah, right now we're at the 618 and we're trying, we have slight, we had it up, pull back, and maybe, we have great resistance there. We have great resistance on the weekly too as well. So on the weekly, we have the 50 and the 20 right in around the 120, or the 50 MA and the 200 MA right around the 120 area. So you got to respect that as well. So, all right, guys, let's see. Gold, IBM. IBM. Yeah, IBM. Let's see. We got some lines in there. Yeah, right to gap fill. So gap fill is a big area here for IBM. You're at the 750 retrace. Like I was saying before, a lot of these stocks are overshooting where it should have stopped right in this area, right where this breakdown bar. Instead, boom, it keeps going. So we did fill the gap today. So if you are long in this stock, let me just go back a little more. If you're long in IBM, you know what? Let's open this up. So we know that right around this pivot here, you got the 750 retrace. So I'm going to put that line in there. You have the gap fill here at this red bar. And I'm just going to, well, you got that pivot and this pivot here too, but I'm going to take this one out. But what I wanted to do, I want to put a fib. I'm going to go to the all-time high up here, see where we're at. Yeah, so you have the gap fill here that you filled today. But if this thing overshoots, you could probably come into this area here, 191, 139. So if you're long this one, you might be able to scratch out another 10 bucks or so if the markets stay buoyant. And this is kind of, maybe a little bit of a safer play, getting IBM, just buy and hold it, blah, blah, blah. So people are buying some more of the more protection stocks to say, hey, IBM's not going away or going out of business, so I'm going to buy some of that, just like Caterpillar, just like McDonald's, all the staple stocks basically, But, you did get past, from the all-time high to this low pivot, you are at the 618, you have the 750 coming up, and you still have, a little bit, some pivot resistance here as well. So if you are long, tighten that stop just in case. You want to stay above the moving averages. As long as it does that, it can still pull back. Maybe if it pulls back to the moving averages, it has a good chance of going up again. But, if you're in it from 148, 115, you got 30 bucks, at least half off. Protect it. It gets to 190 or so. Take the rest off and say thank you very much. So just keep an eye on that. If it gets back below and starts getting below these moving averages, then I would probably exit if you're long. If you're short, you want to see if this gap fill will hold off, or if it maybe goes up a little bit more and then turns around. But you want to see a nice, red bar in here, maybe an engulfing reversal candle, and then back down into the MAs. And then you got to get back under here and then, could possibly keep going. But right now, pretty good run. I think it's at the last of it. You see the volume, how it's picking up. These couple candles, they were pushing. And then right now, last three, it's just been on light volume, that weekly volume, that is. Daily, let's see on the daily, let's see if anything. Yeah, daily, same thing. Push up, nice retrace, and now they're pushing up into the gap fill at 82.20 area. So watch out for that one. Just if you're long, like I said, tighten that stop up. If it gets over to the 190, 195 area, just think about just taking it off and going on to the next trade. Just got to keep trading in these environments, guy. You get winners, you take them off and say thank you very much. Yeah, JNUG's the same thing. It's going to do what gold's doing, so just follow the gold. That's it. AMD, haven't looked at this one. You know, I've been telling everyone, if you're long, got to get out. So let's see if I was right. Yeah, you know, not doing too much. 15. We had the 1467 area in there. So it did, you know, probably with the hype, with the Nvidia and Intel and everything else, but it did get to the $12 area. Nice pullback. Boom, right back up. Almost made it to the 1467 area. That was our next area. That was our next area to look at. Sorry about that. That's my wife, guys. I'm gonna have to take that call, or I'm gonna have to cut this short. So, all right. So let's see here. So we're almost into the 1467 area. Gosh, I just want to go back. All right, where am I now? Let's go back. I say there's something there. Okay, so you had that high pivot here. I don't know why this one's in here. Let's take that one out. So you had the high pivot here at 1667. It almost made it there. That was a very high pivot. If you go back here, let's try to open this a little more. So if you go back to here, you might even have a little gap fill right around there. So, you know, I like to do it the high pivot, but you do have some resistance up in here as well, and you got that little tiny pivot right there as well. Let's open it up a little bit more. Yeah, there you go. So you have this high pivot here, you got a couple there, and you got that little tiny doji in there where might be a gap fill around the $14 area. So far that's pretty much where it stopped. We had the pivot up here a little bit higher. So let's see if you get another reversal candle and you close below this high around 1239, I'd probably expect lower prices. You're getting a little bit stretched from this area here, the 20 MA. So if you want to be, you know, if you want to go long AMD, I'd let it pull back here. And you know, maybe down in the $950 area, then maybe buy it. And you know, if you can really wait patiently on this one, then you can wait for you know what? Let me put another retrace in here. Yeah, that was some work that we've done before on some other live sessions, guys. So, all right, let's put a fib in here just to see. Yeah, around $9. So if this thing comes back in, if you want to try to go, you know, take a stab at it. But again, if the markets are dumping, you want lower prices. But if this thing comes back with a nice fierce retrace, comes right here, double bottom this, you could probably buy it for a couple day bounce or so. But again, you got to take the trade with the markets. You know, if the markets are bombing, you don't want to be long in this one. I mean, this one, guys, come on. 2016, it was $1.81. It runs to 15, almost $15, and you're not taking profits. Woohoo! You're asking for it. Then it's like dry ships. Thing went up, everyone was a millionaire, and 2 days later they halted, and then you lost everything. So beware of that stuff. Be careful. All right, INTC. INTC, same thing, right back in the double top. Pull back, trying to stay above the 20 MA. Excuse me, guys. You're on in here. It's been a long day. Been a long day. So on the daily, though, see how we came to double top. So, you know, they had good earnings or whatever they had. Slightly bullish pattern here. Oops, I don't want that in there. Slightly bullish pattern here. Pops up. Actually, it's slightly bearish, but it was still above the MA, so you have to respect that it's holding that. And then, boom, we get the pop on earnings. They drop it right back. Get a retrace right back into this area. See how we got to the top of that breakdown bar? That's going to be great resistance, too. If you are long Intel, tighten that stop. This could be the retrace where they pull it back and then it's lights out. So seen that before. Because, oh, it's Intel, you got to buy it. Hurry, it's going up. Then everyone hops in it, and then they don't realize that the 50 MA. What else is there? Let's check a fib. Almost into the 50% retrace, 382 retrace, but great retrace into this big red bar. As long as it doesn't close. If you are long, you need it to close above this area around 36.51. If you are short and it closes above the 50 MA and the 20 MA, then you got to think it's probably going to 37 or 37.50 again. So if you're not in a huge position, hold on tight for this one. Could just be retracing and then possibly for the next leg down. But it still came into, let's see here. Just want to connect this dot. We do that. Yeah, look at this crap. God, you can't make this stuff up, guys. So we're connecting. Jeez. So that's coming off those lows right there. So that's saving it. You got the 200 MA coming in right there as well. So you gotta watch out for that one there. So as long as it's staying above that movement, you know, this trend line, it's fine. If it retraces right back down, gets below these, then you're probably going to start heading down. You know, this one had a nice run. You do have to say. I mean, went up. I mean, it's been a hell of a run. I mean, right, 2015, right back down, right back up, right back up, down and right back to double top. Couldn't get through. Let's see if we reverse and come right back in. If it does, who knows? This could be a $25 stock again. You never know. 30, yeah, 16-year, exactly. A lot of this stuff, even like Microsoft, 2000 was the resistance, and it's trying to get through it, and it's barely making it. It's just like, wow. Is it going to get through? Where is Microsoft? $64. It's a couple bucks over that high, but that's just entice the people. Stay in it. Don't sell. It's going up. It's going up. Don't be afraid. But yeah, Intel, it's okay. But just if you're long, tighten the stop. You got the big resistance coming up until it gets above that 38.45 area. Just got to hold on. You got to just see. You kind of just chopping around here. But eventually, if the markets go, this one will start going with it. That's just the way it is. Just check the multi-chart 15-year. Yeah, let's go back in the month. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, so yeah, there you go. Then you have resistance here too, around 47, and of course you got the double top. I mean, Intel, look at that, just been chopping around another channel. Chop, 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 chop. Then you got the lower channel down here. So, is that where are we at the high again? Where all of a sudden we just start, bleeding down, but with Trump and they're doing that $6 billion building or whatever. I live in Phoenix, guys. I've seen the building before. It's like, oh, we're doing all this stuff now. It's probably true, but what's that going to do for the markets and how good is everything? It's a couple thousand jobs, whatever. So, all right, let's look at Disney. Disney monthly chart, making another run here, guys. Get ready. Get ready to short. Hold on, let's go back a little more. Oh, look at that. Yeah, there's your area if it gets up there. All right, so if it gets up around the 115 area, that's where you want to look to possibly short this thing. I want to see, all right, taking the high pivot there, took it low, yeah, if it goes to the 750 and pushes up into this area, this is where you want to go. If it gets above that area and closes, then you stop out, gets back up to the 120 area or the 122 area, boom, that's where you want to short it here. But yeah, it's getting there. Let it try to go. This is up to the markets. If the markets keep floating, like, look, since December, no volume, no participation. Where's Disney have gone? Straight up. Well, pretty much everything's gone straight up. So you got to keep an eye on that one as well. So that's where we're at on Disney, coming back in the double top. Let's see, that's going to be resistance, the blue line, and then this big trend line here. The symmetry sucks on this line, but you still have to respect it because you're connecting highs back here. Did it go higher than that? No. And every time it does a straight up move, we usually get a big downside, coming. And that's pretty much happening with the markets, everything. So you got to keep an eye on all that stuff. All right, guys, anything else? If not, I'm going to take off here. I wanted to make this a little shorter session, but if you have a couple more symbols, I can look through them. CMG is kind of doing anything. One thing I've been noticing, though, is one of the leaders, ExxonMobil. And this is just like Apple's a leader, which is leading, and JPM's leading, but the oil stocks are not leading. ExxonMobil's one of the big leaders here, guys. And here we are, bearish pattern and starting to break down. Now, the only thing holding this thing up are these lower trend lines here about the 82.30. If this breaks, we got a gap to fill. Honestly, I think we could go, man, probably that pivot, then you got 73, but ultimately I think you get down to the 71.58 pivot. So that's what you got to keep an eye on. So, and this should be leading the way, just like the Apple, just like JPM. I mean, look at JPM. This is another one. If you're not short the JPM, short this thing. This is, maybe it goes to 100, but my gosh. I guess the banks are fixed again, guys. Everything's fixed again. I love this drop though. Man, we were short right there. That was awesome. All right, though, guys, I am done for this. I wanted to make a live session, just a short one today, but I will be hopefully doing one tomorrow, intraday action. Actually, gosh, I'll probably have to do it from my house, which completely sucks. I have my kids tomorrow, so we'll see how this goes. But let's see what happens in the morning. I'll be on the charts looking at stuff on StockTwits. If you're on StockTwits, follow me there. A lot of my intraday stuff is there. We've had some pretty good trade intradays lately, just taking a buck off here, 50 cents there, just doing a quick scalp, and then a quick couple day holds as well. We're in a couple of stocks right now in a short-term trade, and we'll see if they can come in the next couple of days. It's the last day of Options X tomorrow, so beware. They can, jicky jack stocks up around. any way they want to go, especially in these light volume markets. You've got to be careful with that. So any more stocks, guys, before I roll here? Punch it in. I'll go on maybe for about 5 more minutes or so. But yeah, JPM, you want to do that one. There's a couple other ones too that a couple people brought to my attention. I think Lime was, no, not Lime. Oh, what were they? Hold on. If you're not following me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. I got some trades out there. I got about 70 or 80 trades on there. Oh, it was Lime, Lite. Light, we're looking to short. You know, if you're looking for something, this is one that keeps going up and up and up. Parabolic move. I'm not sure what this one is, so be careful with it. If you want to try to short it, just go light position size and you know, just add as it's going up, because eventually on the monthly chart, this is another high flyer here that, you know, we're getting extended, and eventually it's going to come back in. Again, I don't know what these guys do. $50 even number was the good move. And plus on the daily, it was looking at the extended, you know, the extension from this. And now we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days up. I'd expect a little bit of a pullback, but you never know. Just make sure you have the right size position on there, in my opinion. But we did add more to the XBI. That's another short swing that we just added. What else do we add? ISRG, we put that one on too again. We've traded that one a couple times. HRS as a swing, we've added more on that one. Panera Bread, we added that as a short. We also added Granger as a short, Hasbro as a short, COHR as a short. Home Depot, we added more. We added more to Alaskan Airlines. The THO, we initiated another new position on that. We made good money on that one. And we just keep, you know, keep going and going and going, guys. And when we start pulling those off, we'll keep adding more. You just got to keep trading. Don't stop. And money management, like I always said, if you know, you guys that follow me, you know what's going on. So, all right, let's see here. Amazon. All right, let's do Amazon. But yeah, those were a couple trades we added. Yeah, Amazon, you're right back to double top. Remember, they had mediocre earnings, and boom, it floats for 7 days straight back up the double top. If you're not short Amazon, short it. Just go slow. You know, puts, I still wouldn't do puts. Maybe write some calls up in here. But you know, it could easily go to 850. You know, these markets stay like this, guys. These things can just keep floating. So just be careful, Jeff. You know, you watch, you come to my sessions, Jeff. You know. But yeah, I mean, I love it. Love great retrace, double top. I mean, we're not back into the all-time high here. So I'd say 850. If it goes up another $5-10 through 850, then you can start, you know, if you're not short this thing already, short it. You know, a lot of these. I mean, Tesla came down real nice today. US Steel, we have a short-term trade on that one. That one's being a bear, though. I mean, it came down real nice today, and I was like, oh, you know, so I'm holding on here. We're still at this pivot, you know, until I want to see more conviction. I want to see a push. I think this thing's just going to turn around and roll right back over. That's kind of the scenario with this. You get these big moves up and then nice pullbacks. Big moves up, nice pullbacks. Big move up, nice pullback. Another big move up, you know, from 30 to 40. That's a hell of a move. I still think we can at least pull down to 35 bucks or so, in my opinion. So, all right. But yeah, that's you know, that's just bouncing around here. But yeah, Amazon, you can short if you want. Looking at 94.68 short opinion, DPS. DPS, which one? 94.68. So this high pivot right in there. Okay, yeah, that's not bad. DPS, let's see here. Put a fib in there too. Yeah, it's coming up here, even 94.41. Yeah, if it gets up into there, you can definitely short this thing. That's a good one. Let's look at the bigger time frames just to see. I think this one's a little bit stretched. No, but man, what a hell of a move. Look at this. So, you know, you are retracing. You could go back into the 100% or the $100 area again, maybe. You know, that's something you got to keep in mind, because it could do that. But you know, I like the retrace on this. The problem is right now you got these markets and everything's floating around. So if the markets stay buoyant like this and do nothing, then you have a good chance of this thing possibly, you know, going a little higher here. I like the pivot that you're looking at, but at the same time, you know, just go small size. You know, if your max position's 10 grand, go 5,000 and be willing to add. That's how you got to play these things. because you don't want to get your butt kicked. So, just go slow on those, and know that know that if you look at here, let's go back to the daily. Let's Ruben, we went over AMD. You can look at probably about 10 minutes ago. Yeah, we were saying it came up to resistance, it's pulling back. Let it pull back some more before you go in, especially if the markets start to come in. I think that thing could be a $9 stock again. So around $9, just watch it. I did about 5-10 minutes ago, so it's on the end part of the on the video. So we did go over that Intel and a couple other ones too. But on the daily, let's go back to DPS. Yeah, you got this. I mean, right here you had the gap, you have this high pivot, and then you have a little bit of a gap here too. So let it at least it's got a couple days up. Let's see if we could push up a little bit more. But I do like what you're looking at here. You do have great support or resistance here, but you do have a couple, the gap right here as well. So at 97. So if you're going to add maybe around 95 even number, and then let it push up a little bit more, maybe start adding around 97, 97.50. Then of course double top around the 100. Make sure you have enough to add maybe 3 or 4 times in here. These are the type of markets where you got to do that. I could call positions where double top, let's take it, boom, 3 days it goes down, and then all of a sudden it goes 5 days up. But man, if we stay buoyant in the SPY and everything, these markets just float. It sucks. All right, let's look at AMD real quick. But AMD, we're saying, yeah, so if the markets do come in, we hit this pivot up here around 14, it was right in this area, but the other big one we had was 1467. It pulled back. Now, if you're long, you need to get it back, back above the 1465. If you're short, you're going to have some support here. Then, if we start going through this area. But one thing I like about the AMD, I like around the $9.44 or this gap fill, right around $9 if it pulls back. But we talked about it. You had a hell of a run. This was a $1.80 stock, almost $15, and people are taking profits. So it just depends. If the markets start dumping, this thing can easily go down. So, so just be careful. Yeah, on that DPS, if you can get a little bit more out of it, but if you're going to take like 300 shares, do 100 at 95, do another 100 at 97, and do another 100 at 98. And if it starts to pull back, just if you make a good profit, get the hell out. Can you also look at LU, looking to short around the current area? All right, LUK. It's tough shorts right now, guys. Oh, nice one, man. I like that. Hold on here. Oh, look at that. Nice double top. I don't know what this thing does, but it has a nice run. It's really starting to go. Let's take a look at the bigger time frame. Yeah, see, there's more up here than this. So, well, right now, I mean, just a quick look at this thing. You got this trend line here where it looks like it's starting to break out a little bit. So if it does break out, I'm going to do a retrace from here to here. Just the first one. So you got 618 around 20. Yeah. If it can't make it through there, it will probably pull back. You have the 25 even, 25 round number there, a quarter number. That's going to be resistance. This is where it broke down. This is where it's revisiting that area. If it does break out here, I would think it might get to $32. Honestly, you're going to have resistance here at these pivots as well, around 29. But if it does, you got a trend line breakout. It did. This is a monthly. Hold on. Let's go to the daily. Hold on. All right, so there's your trend line in here. It's not perfectly. Let's go back a little further. Let's see how good it's drawn in here. All right, let's draw it in a little better on the weekly. Yeah, it's been a hell of a week, guys. Let me tell you. I wanted to get back today to the shop and do a little video here. It's like, damn, I need to go live again. I miss my people. I miss talking stocks, man. I wish everyone could talk too. I'm going to be going doing some GoToMeeting. If you go to my website, sign up. I'm going to do post some GoToMeeting stuff, where only people who are on my website is going to get that email to say, hey, come to GoMeeting. Then we can all talk and we can go over stocks and we could try, just say, hey, we're looking at LUK. What do you think? Then we could get people who are looking at options. People are looking at this. I got a good group. I got about 6 or 7 people now that I've been talking to back and forth, and we've been looking at some great stuff, great ideas, making some, good calls and stuff like that. But, especially option players, players that do a lot of spreads, diagonals, pretty much everything. I want to get a great group of people together that we can, call out some good trades and say, okay, you know what, we're going to take LUK, right here, a little early. I like it more in this, I mean, you got pivots here, you got the 50% retrace, but it looks like it's going to try to break out a little bit more. You're getting some volume, so maybe some news on this thing. I don't know what the stock is, but just looking at the charts, you do have great resistance here, though. I like that area. But if you're going to take a short, start going a little bit, because you did get above this line. You are breaking out of a bullish pattern. It is choppy, sloppy, but it's starting to make a move right now. And you got pivots here, just to know, 26.78. You got some really good pivots around the 28.39. Then you have the 618 at 29, as well as the 750 on this. I love the 32.18 area if it got there. So if you want to short this one, just keep an eye on it. I do like what you're seeing here, but if you have to take this trade, on this breakdown area, just go light, knowing that it could go to 29 and maybe 32. So, if you want to wait, and you might miss it, but, a lot of stuff's overshooting, and this thing's going right into this area, and you got pivots here too. So for me, I would at least try to get it around 27 bucks. I mean, the 29 would be even better, and then add the last half around 32, if that makes sense, Yeah, more I look at it, might crush, right? Yeah, it's hard to, I love what you're seeing into this area, but with these crazy markets, this light volume, this thing can move up another $3 tomorrow. Who knows? But I love that pivot, because that's where it retraced and then broke down. So you're going to have a lot of people who bought right here. They're bag holders. But if you got some news, or oh, I'm going to wait, this thing's got to go higher, kind of like Microsoft, a bag holder from 2000. You're break even and you're hoping for higher prices, But yeah, I mean, this could get here. I would like, 29 and 32 in this area to start doing something, but I could be completely wrong. This thing can just crash tomorrow. So, but I like that, that's what I'm seeing, and if you are bearish, if it does turn around, you still have a lot of these moving averages down here. You got this high pivot here. You still got the 25 number. So even if it pulls back, you might get a buck out of it now, where this thing really starts to, kick some ass here and move up, these moving averages will be, maybe 25 when this thing's at 30, 31. So then you got a $5 pullback back to the moving averages. So you still have good support in here too. That's why let's try to get a little bit more out of this thing, see if it goes up. So, all right, guys, that's it. I got to call my wife here. My daughter had some stuff done. She has some stuff going on, so we had to take care of her today, and that was the other issue that I've had in the last couple weeks. So some personal stuff. So, but again, guys, I love the charts. I love sharing ideas. I love trying to put people on the right side of the trades. And if there is anything I could do for you guys, send me an email. Even on these live sessions, guys, send me an email saying, hey, John, I like nighttime better, after market hours, because I know a lot of people don't trade during the hours, but I'd like to do some stuff where I could bring some new people in here, during the night sessions. Right now it's 7 o'clock in New York. It's kind of dinner time. I'm in Arizona, guys, so it's only 5 o'clock here. But shoot me off an email, or tell me, if I get 50 emails and everybody wants me to look at Apple or make do videos on Apple, I'll do videos on Apple. I'll take a survey and saying, hey, everyone's sending me stuff on Apple, Priceline, Netflix, stuff like that. That's what I'll do some videos on. So I need your feedback. I'll start I'll keep putting out charts, but I love these live sessions because I got some great people that come to these things and even help me find trades, guys, and I really appreciate your help as well. So all right, guys, that's it for today. Hopefully you got something out of this. Like I said, I'm going to be doing some more hopefully in the future. Just still crazy busy at my shop, just trying to get everything running here. But every minute I get that I have some free time, I will be putting charts out there, doing some videos, all that good stuff. Again, go to my StockBookie site and sign up for the free membership. And then, you'll get the emails when I'm going live and all that good stuff. All right, guys, have a great Thursday night, and hug your kids. Give your wife a kiss if you're married, and we'll go from there. Have a good one, guys. God bless. See you on the charts.